Um, it's I do want to talk more about my journey to lose weight and everything because I think that could be very relatable to some people, but also it is a very important part of the story of 2025 for me, where I like the me losing weight and the effort I put in. That was even before January of 2025. It was like 2024 I was working on it, and I did have some progress, but the majority of the biggest progress was that last year. And I started with having a better relationship with like food and trying to learn how to um process emotions without using food as a conduit, um and having to learn to just eat when you're hungry and
Damn,
have
Otaku.
yeah,
I- Even when you say shit like that, even you've told it to me before, I just like it. Just
it doesn't click
it's
with you.
insane to me that it was like that for you.
Yeah, dude, when
Yeah.
you're a kid, you don't know how to cope and no one helps you how to cope. Food makes you feel loved and makes you feel
Yeah.
happy, you know.
For some girls, it's cutting themselves. So.
Yeah, I guess so. Both is really destructive. One just looks more fucked up. One looks more gory,
Yeah, tell me about
and
it.
the other one looks like it just looks it's slow. It's a more of a slow and not an invisible type of self destruction. But I don't
For
think
some of us, it's becoming a rebel and like
I guess yeah. I was I
denying all sense of authority.
I became a rebel of my own, but not in your definition of a rebel. Anyway, if we go back to the episode of rebellion, and you'll know what we're talking about. But anyway, um, I think that I don't even think I use it as self destruction. I use it as like a comfort. Like I needed it. I it was the one thing I knew that I could count on to make me feel happy or make me feel good in a situation where I couldn't control much. So I just I kept going back to it, and I was like, the only solution is to have a healthier relationship with my emotions, is to put them to work in more productive ways. Not just I went through like highs and lows of like, hey, I went through highs and lows of like pouring all my emotions out onto a paper, thinking that was gonna help me, and like writing a bunch, and that did help for a bit. But then I just learned that you don't and to regulate your emotions doesn't ultimately mean that you pour them out constantly whenever you feel them. It's actually, in my experience, I can't say it works for everyone, but in my experience, I think the best way that I've learned to regulate these emotions is to not actually give them so much credence. Like they do matter, but you know, they flow up. The flows and ups and downs of your emotions is literally, at least for a woman and for me specifically, it's like it's not a stable thing. It's never going to be stable. So the only thing you can count on is not it is like not your emotions, but like the belief and the faith of what you know to be true, what is really reality. And if you can keep like onto what you know to be true, then your emotions can just like flow in and out, and they won't be like a constant director of your life. They won't be like the thing that like ruins your day or like brings about the feeling that the world's ending, like in a panic attack. Like those things will not feel so in your face and dramatic, because you're not allowing them to run your life. That you're not allowing them to run your entire mental state. Because long as if you can trust and have faith in like a few truths that like everything else can just go in and go out, like flow in and flow out. Like you're gonna feel like today I'm feeling shitty, but that's not gonna be forever. Like today's a shitty moment. Maybe the next, if I open myself up to positivity and good things, maybe I'll feel better in the next few moments. Like it's okay, and like let the bad ride and let the good ride in. Like you can't just like focus and dwell on the happy or the bad, because like even dwelling on the happy can be kind of like debilitating in another way, which is that, like I said, I learned a lot, and that those are one of the things that I did learn. um so after I learned how to better. I'm still working on it. Better regulate my emotions with my emotions. I had a better chance of regulating my habits on food and like eating to a good degree and being and having like better methods to like release my emotions in other ways, like using the gym, going being in nature. Like these things are like I don't think I could like I could not be as happy as I am without like at least exercising and at least being in the sunlight and being in some form of like nature outside, even if it's fucking cold out, you know. Yeah, like these things are like the one of the things that keep me tranquil.
Emotional regulation for me is like a default. A My journey or the way I feel about it is completely different. It's almost like I don't have to deal with emotions at all. Emotional regulation just comes down to rationale
Yeah, I know.
when
It's
it comes down to it for me.
I think that you do that.
It's
I think you do that to a crazy extent.
it's
But
it's it's rationale. It's not that so much that I think or know that emotions are temporary, is that I don't acknowledge them at all past that it's a feeling I have in the moment. I know what I want to do. I know where I'm going, and I know that these are the things that it takes
yeah,
to get where I want to get to. And it's like how I feel about it ultimately doesn't matter. This result that I'm looking for takes these kinds of sacrifices and this amount of work put in. And if I want that, this is the work I have to put into it. And it boils down to that, no matter how I feel about it.
yeah. I do think I've gotten to that. I gotten to that conclusion too myself. Maybe not to that extreme because but I do give some credence to my emotions because I do think that they are necessary in certain instances, and I think they're necessary in a lot of my intuition and learning how to navigate the world around me. Also, you know, whether you believe in the differences of females or males, you know, females do just
Um,
operate on a different brain process. You know,
I do believe in a difference. In,
not
I do
you,
believe in
not
the.
you, not
Hold on, hold
you.
on.
Yeah, I'm just want to clarify. Not you as in circus. You as in other people who might be
Yeah,
listening.
the idea of me or something. It's like, look, I believe in the differences, but I have to like put credence to the idea that if I am to like acknowledge my emotions, it's personal. It's things I have to process. It's like my subconscious, or it's like my feelings that's trying to teach me something or that's trying to show me something. And the best part is to make it part of yourself,
Yeah.
weirdly enough. Not to make decisions solely on cold, calculated like ones and zeros, but to acknowledge that sometimes the result or the end result is not going to make you as happy as you think it's going to make you. And including your emotions or how you feel about things could lead to like some type of better happiness. Just because you don't get the best results or just because you don't get like the end goal that you want to, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be happy, which is obviously the case for me.
Hmm.
These days, I'm feeling very happy.
Yeah.
I'm not where I want to be, but I know I'm going to get there eventually.
Yeah.
Or you could say that I believe that I'm going to get there eventually. Regardless of that, the emotions are definitely part of that process.
Yeah.
But emotional regulation is, I think, I almost equate it to maturity. And
Hmm.
maybe that's very simple for some people. Like, oh, as long as you're mature, that means that you have emotional regulation without having to regulate your emotions. But I don't know. That might be different for some people. Some people have a harder time with emotional regulation than others. However, we all can acknowledge that we make bad decisions when we're emotional.
Yeah.
And
Well, I don't know. I made bad decisions being logical, so I don't know.
oh
To each his
yeah,
own.
there's that. It's not a monolith, right?
Yeah, I know.
I made bad decisions being logical too.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think, you know, I think this also brings me to actually maybe I'll hype up this future episode that's gonna come out. This brings me back to that episode of like the motion versus rationale or reason that we talked deeply about that kind of topic in that episode that's going to be coming out when I edit it. That was actually recorded months ago, like in October, but no, actually November. But yeah, that stay tuned for that, I guess. But yeah, it definitely it's definitely one of those things, uh when you
When you
yeah, sorry, I had a thought, but then, you know me,
it
I'm like
slipped your
80.
mind.
Yeah, I have ADHD, dude, I'm telling you. Like if I don't say the thing I need to say in that moment, it's gonna leave my brain. Which is why you probably guys catch me fucking like interrupting circus a lot. I'm sorry. I feel bad.
Oh no! By all means, Otago.
Yeah, by all means. Um I try not to interrupt. I suck at that, but
I'm out
maybe
here, half drunk and playing with my cat.
hey, Mino Mino, cookie. Yeah, you default to reason, but I was gonna bring in the concept that might pair well with this is that, um, another thing that could pair well with like the whole theme of this is that as much as as much as we all like are talking about like New Year's Eve and New Year, the New Year and everything, and like the past and the future, I think we should also speak about the present and being in the present day, being in the presence and feeling just being in it, feeling it, allowing happiness to be in the now and be in the here because a lot of times people be chasing a past feeling or a future feeling or a future thing that's going to make them feel a certain way instead of actually just feeling it in the now, which I like I said, growth was the theme of 2025 for me, or just in general. I don't really put themes on years, but that as I reflect, that's the thing. That's the word I come to, and learning about being in the present, and not worrying about whatever XYZ thing that I got to do, and like yes, there is some room for it, like we were talking about goals and positivity and all that stuff, but you know, all you have is the life you are living right now. Future hasn't even happened yet. It does not exist. What exists, what we know exists right now is now. And it's okay to feel the happiness and feel the feeling today. Like this may be the this may be the pinnacle of your life today because you there's it's not tomorrow's not guaranteed. So you might as well enjoy it in the moment, even if it's like a shitty day, it's a bad day. It's like like gratitude is it's no joke, man. No, gratitude can really change your outlook on life. Maybe like that sounds too preachy, but you know, and it's not. It's easier said than done, But it's like
It's
you know,
I saw something today actually that talks about how you have to let go of like blaming things, and that changes their whole perspective on gratitude.
yeah, yeah, blaming things for why things didn't go a
Yeah,
certain way.
it's like it's much easier, and I don't remember exactly how the person said it, but it boils down to that you can't hold more than one thought in your mind
Yeah,
at a time. And then if your thought is negative, then everything that comes downstream from that is going to also be negative. So you have to start with a positive thought,
yeah,
holding that thought in your mind. So, like, when it comes to gratitude, you can, like, have a really shitty life and not really have anything to be grateful for. But if at the same time your mindset when it comes to gratitude has, like, you know what, at the very least, you is what I'm capable of, and you start that way, and then you start to let go of these things that have to do with blaming other people as opposed to taking accountability for your own life. And when you take accountability for your own life and you start being grateful for things, so to speak, you get rid of like that victim mentality and you go into that, like, I don't know, what would I call that? Leader mentality, king mentality? It doesn't matter, right? When it
I
comes
don't
down
know.
to it, I can be who I want to be in the circumstances that I am, regardless of how low or how high it is.
I think I would call that autonomy, like an autonomy mentality, where you're taking your autonomy, you're taking your agency, and being like, I am here, and I like I have an effect on the world. I have an effect on my life, like that I have agency. You know. And instead of victim mentality, you get, agency mentality or other, you know.
You
But
don't you don't you don't even have to think about it in terms of like in the world.
yeah,
You can be a positive influence to your brother,
yeah,
to your sister, to your kid, to like your neighbor. Is like you don't know, man. Your neighbor will be like, fuck, this guy, my neighbor, he's doing all this stuff and I'm over here doing nothing. You have no idea that you're being a positive
yeah,
influence to the person that's next to you, that they see you as a hero and you have no idea.
yeah,
And you falling is the equivalent of them falling because, like, man, here's my neighbor that I thought was this great guy or this great girl that is doing all this stuff.
yeah,
And if they can't make it, I can't make it.
yeah,
Whereas you don't know if, like, just you doing something, that's something as simple as just living life day by day, and someone else that's next to you that you don't even realize that you mean that much to them, they see you as an inspiration.
yeah. And that's like that's that's a powerful thing, man. You know,
It can be, yeah.
yeah. I'm one of the I'm maybe I find it that a lot my sorry, I stutter a lot, but I find that my mentality on life is maybe something only I think I know you and I share, and maybe a few other people, not many, where just being here and just being alive, being like present and like breathing and existing in and of itself is just all inspiring to me. Like it doesn't take much to make me feel awestruck by the world, like by the world I live in. Maybe like if you take out all like the shitty things that humans do and all this stuff, if you just go and sit out in nature, you just feel connected to it, and there's like a profound feeling that always brings me positive like awestruck feelings, and that's when I feel the most present. That's when I feel like all these things kind of like have this ring to it. Like, that's one of the episodes, like one of the few episodes, like the good and bad episode that we did. I'm basically just naming all the very important episodes that we did and like kind of referencing back to them because, like I said, this channel kind of maps out all these different things that I process throughout the year. And I hope that my hope is that somebody actually watches and listens and actually also tells me their life story and their experiences, because that's what I ultimately want this channel to be, is like a group of people who also share in their own experiences, and we could become a community of very diverse like thinkers, diverse individual people with their own unique abilities and skills and all these different things. And I hope that that's something that I can create. you know it would be that's one of my that's what this passion project is really for. But yeah, like uh it's I feel as though like it's very much of a uncommon unpopular belief that like life is just simply beautiful, or life is just simply good, and that you don't like all we need to do is just simply matter because we simply exist. Like we simply put we matter because we create, we destroy, we matter because we have an effect on the world, as small as it may seem on some days and as big as it may seem on others. Like it so this complex world it is sometimes, in the right light, simple. You know, like all the things that we complicate in our own brains. Once we figure it out, once we comb through it, it really comes down to simple questions and simple answers. Like you asked me, like,
I've had,
yeah,
I've had a bunch of people over my lifetime tell me their life story,
yeah,
and it's it's kind of funny how that works. That
yeah,
sometimes people trust you to tell you like deep things about themselves that usually they wouldn't tell other people. But if you're that type of person that can be trusted in that way, you'll realize very quickly that Everyone goes through the very same thoughts that you do. They live the same ultimate process of like self actualization that you do.
Yeah,
And it's unfortunate that it's not a common thing where people have these resources to realize or like come to like terms with who they are and stuff like that. But hey, we're getting better as humans to
for
understand
sure.
each other. Really,
Yeah, for sure. I hope we are. Um, and I do believe that like the simple answers, like I was talking about, was like the like I think you were asking me before. It's like when did I what was the question? When did I start? You asked me earlier, like when did I start to change like my thoughts on certain things and all that
right?
stuff. What was the question specifically?
I don't remember. I'm
Oh,
like drinking right now.
yeah, you're just
I'm,
drinking. You're just vibing. I stopped drinking a while ago because I know I'm a lightweight. Uh, um, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now I remember. I was basically talking about how like how I tried to like how I've tried to come to terms with like feeling like is it worth it? Is what I'm doing worth it? And like I to this day sometimes I do question it, doubt it, or my conviction sometimes wanes. Um where I'm like after I got through the whole process of like the discipline. Okay, I got discipline. I have the drive, I have the fuel, but where am I going? What direction do I want to take this? What direction is somewhere where I want to be? Like where's the end goal to this journey? Like as much as people love to say, the journey is the fun process and like that's all that matters, and that can be true, but it's like, you know, you're you want to get somewhere and like meet that destination because you're excited for it, when you become once you go through this. And I sometimes wonder, it's like, what is this all for? What is it worth doing all this for, And it's what usually makes me doubt it is like external things that just shit on this fucking dream I have. External powers that be, external things that people like people that can fuck it up, like things people, usually it's just people, it's humanity that like really makes me question this shit. It's like we were talking about a whole lot of good can get fucking shit on by just a small amount of bad. And um and I'm over here like, is it worth trying to better this world if all we ever do is just make shit worse? No matter how hard any of the good people try. And like,
I don't say it's worse.
I
We're
don't know.
definitely better off
I guess,
in the
yeah.
grand scheme of things.
I guess, but the assassination of Charlie Kirk really made me think about that. That well, that's just one thing, but many other things. But that was a big thought think like a big turning point for me. Haha, turning point USA. Jokes. Too soon, too soon. I'm over here like, man, this guy, as much as I disagreed with him, I didn't really disagree with him all that much. I just didn't like I'm not much of a religious person, and I kind of don't like the church and how controlling it can be. And so a lot of his religious takes on things I didn't quite agree with, but his general sentiment of wanting free speech to reign, wanting the free market of ideas to be the guiding point of how things, go, and getting two people who disagree with each other to come together to talk about and like debate their ideas to see which one holds true, holds water, what really works in reality, not just in theory. And like, coming maybe like even coming to like each other and understand each other and not hate each other and find humanity in each other. Like that's something that I truly believe in and I still do. And being like, okay, coming back to the circle of like, is it worth it? And I came to the conclusion that, you know what, I'm okay with, you know, I need to be okay with the possibility, which is that is very likely that what I do may not be worth it, but do I still want to do it regardless? And I think the question is yes. Like, it may not be worth it in the end. I may not really make a difference, but do I still want to do it regardless? And I think with a convicted yes, I do. Cuz not doing it makes me so sad. Not doing it makes me so depressed, and I'm like I need to do something even if it doesn't matter in the end. Even if it doesn't do anything in a grand scale, maybe it'll do some good in some small way, even if it's like not like in that small good, I think might be worth it for me. Maybe not worth it for everybody, but it's worth it for me.